My name is Lori Tragesser, and I'm 44 years old. I have 5 children, and I was first diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 41 years old. I did all the things that I was supposed to do. I did my treatments, I did the chemo, I had my surgery. I even declared pink as my favorite color. So when we were finished with that, we were ready to close that chapter and move on with our lives. 2 years later, I suddenly had this weird collarbone and neck pain that I really wasn't sure what to do about. So I called my oncologist and I asked her what I should do, and she had me get scans. She called me to her office then, and I kind of had a bad feeling about it. And as she sat in front of me and held my hands, she told me that I was stage 4 cancer and it had metastasized to my bones. As she told me all the things that she needed to tell me, her words kind of just faded into the air, but I did hear her say that this is treatable but not curable. And those words just simply took my breath away. So before my diagnosis, we were a busy family. Well, we still are a busy family. We have 5 kids running around, 4 teenage boys, and my daughter's 11. So we're doing a lot of sports, a lot of soccer, a lot of basketball, a lot of theater, homework, clubs. I ended up needing to really adjust our lives a little bit. So I went down to 3 days a week at work. And the kids, I didn't really want them to have to stop doing the activities that they were doing. So we really just tried to make that work for them. Middle schoolers and high schoolers have so many issues to deal with anyways, and it made me sad to know that they were going to have to deal with this issue too. But they've really handled it in such an amazing way, and they contribute each in their own way something to me and to our family, and it makes it pretty special. I always wanted a large family, and I kind of always envisioned all of us sitting at the dinner table and my kids with their spouses and grandchildren running around everywhere. And I'm really terrified now that I'm not going to get to be able to see them grow up, and I'm terrified that I'm not going to get to see those grandchildren. So one night I was helping my 11-year-old daughter with a homework project. And this project was kind of neat. Her teacher said, if you had unlimited resources and unlimited money, what would you do with them? And of course she said she was going to cure cancer. So she needed some statistics to put in her paper. And so I gave her some of the basics. 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and 20 to 30% of those women are diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer. And my son piped in and said, well, Mom, how many of those women end up dying of metastatic breast cancer? And I was kind of surprised because we've talked about it a lot, but it saddened me as I watched their stunned faces when I had to tell them that all women end up dying of metastatic breast cancer. Facing my mortality has really taught me to take in those precious moments and maximize my days. I am really happy. I know that sounds kind of weird to say, but I'm not going to let the fear and the sadness consume me. There are too many things I want to do and places I want to go, and just quality time that I want to spend with my family.
My mom is the bravest person I know, and I hope that one day I can be just as brave as she is.
My mom is a warrior, and I hope I can fight every battle of mine like she fights hers.
My mom is the most courageous person I know.
My mom is as brave as a tiger.
My mom is the strongest person I know.
Well, there's a lot of difficult things about going through treatment, but I think one of the hardest things is when I see people and they ask about my treatments, and then they ask, well, are you almost done with them, or are you finished? And I have to explain to them that I will never be finished with my treatments, and that for every 3 weeks I will have to do this. Being diagnosed with breast cancer changes your entire life, but there's an accomplishment that I'm really proud of, and that is I was never a good writer, but I found that as I started sharing my experiences in a blog, thanks for the memories, that I actually was a good writer, and people enjoyed reading it, and suddenly thousands of people were reading my blog, and people were using it to help other cancer patients, and it's just been a neat thing for me. Living with metastatic breast cancer is like living with the unknown. Every ache, every pain is scary. Every scan brings unexplainable anxiety. Great strides have been made with research for early breast cancer treatment, and this is a great thing. But in reality, we still have 40,000 women dying in this country every year, and There just needs to be more done. We need to help connect those living with metastatic breast cancer to each other and to resources that they need, as well as educate the public about what it's like to live with metastatic breast cancer and the importance of contributions to research. The median survival after a diagnosis of metastatic breast cancer is an average of 3 years, leaving 110 women and men dying in this country every day, and we just need to do better. I ask you to take a second and imagine life without breast cancer. It ends up affecting all of us and our families at some point in our lives. We're all here because of a promise Nancy Brinker made for her sister. And we're all here because 110 mothers, sisters, daughters are dying every day in this country. I dream about a day that we all can hear those words. We have the cure.